Hey folks, Sam Haymart for Test Driven TV. We're visiting an old friend of mine today, the Lexus RX crossover. I say old friend because I've probably test driven this vehicle more times than any other vehicle in my career. Why that is, I'm not exactly sure, but I do know it pretty well. This one we have here is the 450h hybrid, one of the very first hybrids in the luxury SUV class. And today, well, it's gained quite a few more competitors than it used to have back when it first came out. And so I'd just like to see if it can still compete. Lexus brought us the hybrid RX in the last generation nearly 10 years ago, making headlines at the time and gaining a number of celebrity first adopters as buyers. A luxury SUV that could get high fuel economy was something the world was willing to pay for. Fast forward to current, our 2014 RX450h has sharper lines, the latest spindle grille styling of the Lexus brand, and some rather expensive looking LED headlamps, which came courtesy of the luxury package optioned on our tester. Also coming with the package were larger 19-inch wheels, roof rails, and heated power folding side mirrors. While this design's been with us for some time now, it seems to remain crisp and unique, elegantly aging with the help of its facelift received in 2013. The interior remains a study in what Lexus is and means. Ours came with sumptuous semi-aniline leather and rather striking bamboo wood trim accents. While the RX is available with countless interior color and wood combinations, I find this one fitting to its hybrid theme. The center driver interface has a large display screen controlled exclusively with an intuitive console-mounted control puck. When you move the mouse-like controller, it features tactile clicks that match the buttons on the screen, making it easy to use while driving. I find it still one of the best in the business. The menus are simple enough and quick to navigate, allowing you to control all media, audio, navigation, and HVAC there, but the center stack and steering wheel also has redundant knobs and buttons for most of those things, which I like. Our tester was optioned with the Mark Levinson audio system, which at $995 seems like a relative bargain considering its strong uptick in sound quality over the base system. In the RX, it's lucky to be a standalone option. There were heated and ventilated front seats which were exquisitely comfortable. I did notice, however, in our 100+ degree heat this week that the ventilation feature on the seating wasn't that robust and was hardly noticeable. I really do like the interior of the RX because it still remains pretty fresh even though the design is a few years old. The materials in here are of a consistent quality when you go from one spot to another, and that can't always be said for some of its competition in the luxury SUV field. A lot of times you get in these vehicles and they've got soft touch points here and there, but then you move down to the console and other parts and the quality doesn't seem to be up to the same level. You don't have the consistency. And in here, what Lexus really seems to have learned how to do well is create a look and feel for their interiors that is not only consistent within the vehicle, but if you get in and out of other Lexus models, you've got the same DNA going on. In fact, you've even got the same smell. Lexus has its own scent now. The rear cargo area is generous enough and is unhindered due to the additional battery pack in the hybrid model. Even better news still is the fact that it retains a spare tire, something many hybrids give up when they gain that extra battery. While the RX had a lot of firsts in this class, especially for the rear seats that could be multi-way adjustable, it still does offer some comfort with the adjustability, but this is also an area where I think that this vehicle is actually starting to show its age, and it has more to do with feature content. And what I mean is, here we've got a dual screen entertainment system that's a pretty hefty option, but it's only got one video input. You can't actually have two separate inputs where passengers can watch or play different things. Also back here we've got the HVAC vents, and there are no separate controls back here. Now that may be available with another package, but at the price we're sitting at here with this vehicle, it is something I think is missing. The RX450h is based on a chassis which has been around for a while but hasn't seemed to age in terms of handling and overall driving dynamics. It's still a front-wheel drive biased crossover in overall feel, not so much an off-roader in its pursuits. You know, if I had to say one word that really summed up the entire driving experience of the RX, I would have to say smooth, creamy, supple. So now, okay, that's 3 words, but you get the idea. Everything from the way this thing feels riding down the road, how the steering feels, how the powertrain responds to you, and how quiet it is in here, really is just smooth and creamy and, you know, supple. It's just a nice, well-rounded little ball of fuzz that you just want to get out and get into and relax in. Under the hood is a 3.5-liter V6 engine similar to that in other Lexus models, and the hybrid drive system, which in our all-wheel drive model is rated at 30 miles per gallon city, 28 miles per gallon highway, and 29 miles per gallon combined. The powertrain on the RX450 remains very unique in its class. It was extremely unique when it first came out, and it still really is one of a kind, although there are a few others out there like it. And what I mean is, it has the standard hybrid synergy drive system that Toyota and Lexus has been known for under the hood. Gasoline engine, electric motors, but because it has all-wheel drive, they've added a second electric motor at the rear axle. So you've got all-wheel drive, but there's no connection between the front and the rear axles. And so what you get is, really you get this sort of really smooth driving experience that gives you a power delivery that's entirely controlled by the computer. And so that rear axle is only really called into play when it's necessary under full power or maybe low traction. And really the whole thing is, with the CVT, and granted, if you watch my reviews, you know I'm no friend of the CVT or constantly variable transmission. But in this vehicle, it just really seems to fit. It offers a seamless, smooth power delivery. When the engine's off, you don't even hardly know it because the engine's starting and stopping is very fluid. And you know, it's just part of that buttery, creamy smoothness that this vehicle has as part of its character. When you put power on, it just sort of comes right on like a nice, smooth sewing machine, and it just really works well. The entire collection of electric motors and the gas engine offers up a total system 295 horsepower, the most powerful RX model you can buy. In our testing, we achieved 27 miles per gallon combined, slightly less than the EPA estimate, but keep in mind our AC was on 100% of the time. Summing it up for the RX450h, I have to say it's still smooth as butter, and, well, it's aging like a fine wine in terms of how well it drives and how well it works. But it's the age that's really starting to catch up with it when it comes to feature content for the money. Now that it has a lot of competitors, many of these are offering different powertrain configurations, as well as a lot more standard equipment and optional equipment that, well, we just can't get here. So this week, we give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'm Sam Haymart for Test Driven TV. I hope you enjoyed the ride.